Good morning. Thank you. I am Justine Busto, lay service leader, and my pronouns are she, her. Challenged by our liberating faith, we discover deeper spiritual meaning, nurture loving community, cultivate courageous connections, and partner in the work of justice. This is our February Community Sunday, in which we have 3 engaging activities you're invited to participate in following our brief service. We'll describe these activities in a few moments. Welcome to all of you on the live stream and in person. We're pleased to have guests with us in this room and participating virtually. Following the service, you are invited to join us in Freeman Hall, across from the sanctuary, for coffee and conversation. If you are new and want to learn more about this congregation, I encourage you to reach out to our Director of Member Relations, Kelly Green. Her email is on the screen. We have large print orders of service, personal hearing devices, personal hearing assistance devices, and an elevator available. There's also a hearing loop in our alternate worship space, the Bernstein Room. If you or your family feel a need to move or be more active, you may be more comfortable watching and listening to the service in the alternate space of Bernstein. We have coloring pages and fidgets for all ages in the vestibule. If that is useful to you or your children, nursery care is also available for children under 6. We have a few announcements. There will be no Credo presentation today. We'll come back in March with presenter Susan Cox. Take part in the chili cook-off on February 21st, 5:00 p.m. in Freeman Hall. Showcase your culinary skills and/or appreciate the talents of the community. Adults, youth, and kids are invited to bring chili, sides, and dessert to share. And there will be prizes. That should be fun. February 22 is Stewardship Sunday. We'll have our campaign kickoff. Our stewardship co-chairs will join us, and we'll celebrate this time where we're all in. Your stewardship packet should be arriving soon. The sign-ups for cottage meetings continue. These meetings give us a chance to strengthen connections with other members and reflect on our connections with our UU community, all while enjoying delicious snacks. Members of the stewardship team will be in coffee hour to help you register. More information about these opportunities can be found in your order of service, in our weekly e-newsletter Currents, or on our website. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Whether you're here in person or joining via live stream, I guess that's where I look up there. Whether today is your first or your 1,000th Sunday in our midst, we are stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, origins, identities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. It's good to be together.
Good morning. I am Paula Gribble, Director of Lifespan Religious Education. My pronouns are she, her. This month, our theme is Crossing the Threshold, and we are exploring what it means to step over that threshold, that space between now and what's next. Please hear these words. We cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside and back again, from here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation. From what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour and in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through the gathering of beloved community? Come, let us worship together. And may the lighting of this chalice remind us of the possibilities waiting across the threshold. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening song. The words will be on the screen.
From To Bless the Space Between Us by John O'Donohue. Within the grip of winter, it is almost impossible to imagine the spring. The gray, perished landscape is shorn of color. Only bleakness meets the eye. Everything seems severe and edged. Winter is the oldest season. It has some quality of the absolute. Yet beneath the surface of winter, the miracle of spring is already in preparation. The cold is relenting. Seeds are wakening up. Colors are beginning to imagine how they will return. Then, imperceptibly, somewhere one bud opens and the symphony of renewal is no longer reversible. From the gray heart of winter, a miraculous, breathing plenitude of color emerges. Change arrives in nature when time has ripened. There are no jagged transitions or crude discontinuities. This accounts for the sureness with which one season succeeds another. It is as though they were moving forward in a rhythm set from within a continuum. To change is one of the great dreams of every heart. To change the limitations, the sameness, the banality, or the pain. We find ourselves crossing some new threshold we had never anticipated, like spring secretly at work within the heart of winter. Below the surface of our lives, huge changes are in fermentation. We never suspect a thing. Then, when the grip of some long, enduring winter mentality begins to loosen, we find ourselves vulnerable to flourish of possibility, and we're suddenly negotiating the challenge of a threshold. At any time, you can ask yourself, at what threshold am I now standing? At this time in my life, what am I leaving? Where am I about to enter? A threshold is not a simple boundary. It is a frontier that divides two different territories, rhythms and atmospheres. At this threshold, a great complexity of emotions comes alive. Confusion, fear, excitement, sadness, hope. This is one of the reasons such vital crossings were always clothed in ritual. It is wise in your own life to be able to recognize and acknowledge the key thresholds, to take your time, to feel all the varieties of presence that accrue there, to listen inward with complete attention until you hear the inner voice calling you forward. The time has come to cross. To acknowledge and cross a new threshold is always a challenge. It demands courage and also a sense of trust in whatever is emerging. No threshold need to be a threat, but rather an invitation and a promise. Whatever comes, the great sacrament of life will remain faithful to us, blessing us always with visible signs of invisible grace. We merely need to trust.
Doorways, entrances, bridges, crossroads, all different kinds of thresholds, the place between here and there. And in the spaces between this and that, there is an important step. We often think of a threshold as something we cross over in a moment. We step up to the doorway and walk through. We enter the bridge and then go to the other side. But it's rarely this easy when we're talking about our lives. Imagine you're one of those high wire walkers. You know what I'm talking about? People who balance on a wire and walk from a platform across the wire to another platform. This is not a simple, easy task. To be high above the ground with nothing but your balance to guide you, that's really hard. You don't always know how long it will take you to get from one side to the other, how strong the wind will blow, how many steps they need to take. And every little bit is another threshold, a movement after movement after movement. You see, sometimes we get so focused on where we're coming from and getting to where we're going, we forget the steps along the way. And it takes patience and preparation and courage. Patience. Man, aren't we all so good at patience? Wouldn't life just be easier if we could think where we need to go and then get there? Discover what we want to do and then just be doing it. That's not how it works. Well, not most of the time. Instead, it takes time. When you're on the high wire, you don't just take off running. You have to take the time for each movement. You have to make small changes and trust that even though it takes time, you will get there. Preparation. People often forget that in the space between before and after, there are things we can do. Maybe we can learn new skills. Maybe we can strengthen our bodies. Maybe we practice. Maybe we prepare. See, I can't just leave here today and go on a high wire across the Grand Canyon. I mean, I suppose I could try. But first, I need to prepare, to learn, to practice. Maybe even try a wire that's just above the ground to begin with. And courage. Can you imagine being on a high wire platform above the Grand Canyon? Or some equally high place you can think of? If I try to imagine myself there, there's one feeling I get. Fear. I'm afraid. Everything about the high wire takes courage. The high place is just one part of it. As I mentioned before, it's the wind, it's the wire, how it's connected, it's your shoes, it's whether or not you can move or roll across, depending on how you're going. So much to be scared about. But we have to be brave to cross thresholds. Remember, I love the saying that courage isn't about there being no fear, about the absence of fear. It's knowing it's scary and being brave to do it anyway. With patience, preparation, and courage, we might just be able to keep crossing the thresholds in our lives. And when we make those movements, we'll have a moment where we realize what we have accomplished, but then we'll take a deep breath, gather our courage, adjust for wind or other dangers, and then move again, and again, and again. Threshold after threshold after threshold. Amen, and blessed be. Please join me now in a time of contemplation. I invite you to breathe deeply, be present to the spirit of life which is in us and through us and around us, to those human connections that give us strength when we struggle and celebrate when we are joyful. The gathered community hears and holds both difficulty and ease as we honor the experiences that make each of us who we are. Today, we send our care to Edie Gelber Beechler, who is undergoing treatments for a serious health issue. As a community, we mourn the passing of longtime member Evan Visco. Evan suddenly passed away earlier this week after a brief and intense illness. We lift up Sam, Adam, and Rebecca as they move through the days and weeks ahead. We'll be holding a memorial service here on February 26th at 2 p.m. We are in need of volunteers for that reception. If you would like to do so, please contact Kelly Green. This is both difficult and heartbreaking news for all of us. And if you are in need of pastoral support, please reach out to Reverend Amanda. Today, we also continue to honor Black History Month. Let us lift up those like Shirley Chisholm, who was the first African-American woman in Congress. And maybe Cecil Williams, a courageous Black man from South Carolina who challenged Jim Crow laws by drinking from a segregated fountain at a filling station. Let us remember that Black history lives through all of us. If you are in need of any pastoral care, you can reach out to the congregational care team or directly to Reverend Amanda. The information is on the websites. And now, if you will, please join me in a moment of silence as we honor all the concerns shared today and those that remain in our hearts. Please join me in prayer. In between, liminal, the space where we wait. Between moments, events, results, action, no action. Let us stand on the threshold, waiting for something to end and something new to arrive, a pause in the rumble of time. Awareness claims us alert, a shadow of something different. In between invitation and acceptance, in between symptom and diagnosis, in between send and receipt of inquiry and question, in between love given and love received. Liminality, a letting go, entering into confusion, ambiguity, and disorientation. A ritual begun, a pause. We look back at what once was. We look forward into what becomes. Identity sheds a layer, reaches into something uncomfortable to wear at times. In between lighting of the match and the kindling of oil, in between choosing of text and the reading of words, in between voices and notes carried through the air into ears to hear. In between creation that thrusts ever forward. Social hierarchies may disassemble and structures may fall. Communities may revolt or tempt trust. Tradition may falter or creativity crashes forward. Leaders may step down or take charge. The people may choose or refuse. Great spirits, we are in between. Storm predicted. In between, the theology of process reminds us to take a step back. In between, where minutiae and galaxies intermingle with microbes and mysteries. In between, liminal, that space where we wait, look, listen, feel, breathe. May it be so.
Generosity is at the center of our mission and vision, and it is through generosity that we live our values out loud. What we give allows us to sustain the work of this congregation within and beyond these four walls. When we gather each week, let it be with this very spirit of generosity and gratitude, recognizing the blessing that it is to carry the work forward together. Our Share the Plate recipient this month is Transforming Nations Forward, a nonprofit organization based in Charlotte, North Carolina, dedicated to providing support and resources to underprivileged communities. The organization focuses on education, economic empowerment, and community development initiatives to help individuals and families thrive. Through partnerships with local businesses and volunteers, Transforming Nations Forward aims to create lasting, positive changes in the community. There are many ways to give to our shared offering. You can text to give at 73256, or you can give directly online. You can also scan the QR code or give as the basket comes your way. With gratitude for all the ways that we give, for those who pledge to make this ongoing work possible, for those who give in the moments when it counts the most, and for those who give from their hearts, we build this community together. Ushers, you may come forward to receive the offering.
As we mentioned earlier, at the conclusion of our service in just a few moments, you will be invited to participate in one of our community Sunday sessions. Listed on the screen now, and they'll be listed again at the end of the service. The sessions this morning are Faithful Generosity, a way to look at our giving and see how it aligns with values and what our history might be around that kind of thing. Crossing Thresholds in Community. Faithful Generosity is in the conference room downstairs. Crossing Thresholds in Community, a look at where this community might cross thresholds into our future and where we might like to see them move forward. That is in the Bernstein room. And lastly, Creating Messages of Love, which is across the hall in Freeman Hall, where we will be creating cards, writing notes, maybe drawings, for messages of love and support to those who have been affected by recent ICE and Border Patrol situations. Please rise in body or spirit to sing our closing song, Be the Change.
See
Our service has now ended. Please join me in reading the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace.